Dolore domore cibe jai nobere cibe ge dawada tamji jembe partu jubare ciba tamji je soe cibe ma namgada nyambe semchen tamji dewa tambe Dungara Tanchen Yordu Lana Amibara Yantabara Zobi Chanchu Rinpoche Tobara Chai Dola Dangwara Jibera Nobara Jibege Darwa Dam Jin Chen Partu Jubara Jiba Tamji Jisu Jibe Ma Namka Tanyambe Semchen Tam Dewa Tan Den Dungara Tan Chen Yordu Lana Yang Tabara Zobe Chanchu Rinpo Tobara Cha
Sentient beings, especially those enemies who we can make obstacles to happiness, and those who create obstacles unlikely after separation in of nations, may they experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and swiftly will I establish them in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. Page
2. Nyuma Santa Zamji Partu
Thus, until I achieve enlightenment, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. Until death, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind.
So we now come to chapter number 61, which is at the end really of the 100,000 songs, and it's the song on the disciples' sons developing delight and displaying miracles of his body.
Ne mentong wa tang la la ne ge tong rong ke se je xia wan ze chu ji yang men zi wan tong yang ji zu re ne xom do be ke xia ba bu Jisu ka sang tong yang man tong la le ken tong yang ding gen zi ko na shu do shu wa da jin zi gang ge ga ne shom ne re ne xi bi jin zen ji la shu be nga ka sang de chu ne mo bo shu te nam na de ba to ba lan tong wa ne go shu de nga ra tong wa lang shu ba yin zong ne wo te da jin zen ji la zong bi ke wo na me re je pu zong ne me re pu shu be ka sang ne ru ke gu na chu hi chin ba yin le de ba sang ge ba dum nam na sam na go shu re nge song zong je dong nga zi ba 송해 남zam는 회쇼바이 다네 오나 리로 나 데바 체단치 시에베 체파라 체다본치 시에슈베레 데바이 마치바 도빈데다라 도딘 원데송소 상트마 동샤나
Namokuru, when the Jetsi Milarepa was staying in Shuar for several days, he was invisible. Some individuals could see his form, but did not see him eating or doing any other kind of activity. Then everyone saw the Jetson sitting there, sometimes crying and sometimes laughing. When this happened, Shiva asked him, Jetsun, since yesterday, you have been both visible and invisible. The people who saw you only sitting in samadhi. Why was that? Today, what was the reason for sometimes crying and sometimes laughing? Milarepa replied, since yesterday, there have been many people here listening to my Dharma teachings. Seeing their joys, I laughed, and seeing their sufferings, I cried. Please tell the reason why this was, he asked. Very well, first offer a mandala. Accordingly, Shiva then offered a mandala. Yesterday, I went to teach the Dharma for all the 6 different classes of beings. When I thought of the bliss of the devas and humans and of those who do virtue, I laughed. When I saw the sufferings of the 3 lower realms and of those who accumulate negative karma, I cried. Then Shiva asked, what are the joys and sufferings of the 6 realms like? In particular, what is the bliss of the devas like? Do not put your trust in the bliss of the devas. Those who live there are like this. And then he sang this song of realization. Samari tang bo ma jung ni do ma de jun de zo na ma zi ba ti ye ju xian na min chou sai jian jie ge wa tang xie jie jian jie gong jian tang ju jie de bi chu chu na ken na ta ban xian ma la song hao cha lu ba yin yu lei cong ci zam gan jian ne zo nam ci zo na shou du niao zhe de du yi la ye dong an zi xie de zan na nang wan chou hu ku wan ju la na hu gu wan zu la du gu mi zhen wa ta ji tang 他上马节老是什么的，在这趟是是啦，在给我是那洋茶吧，起码差不多。我这期就是呢，我这去他去了解个的，他了解就是在在年上中啊，是可别花钱那么低的，是我这上网上在了解就是呢，有人不他去那在那对吧？现在这300年吧这个，3年前呢，他有做那些个的，做那些的，他年上做那什么。 东红个的，说这你嘛，那通报的这东从的这弄啊，上面下边有的动作，这是看的是。And so to summarize the meaning of this song, so Milarepa is saying that those who do not practice genuine virtue, but they do practice virtue, they are born in the God realm. And for as long as they are in the God realm, they still carry with them the seed or the karmic imprint of samsara. And they may experience the bliss of the God realms for a very long time. But one day this merit will be depleted, and then they will fall into the lower realms. And then the suffering of falling from higher realms into lower realms is said to be inconceivable.
我真的，当他们移动啊，中国其实许多工作，我老那么就求本来呢，他们移动啊，中国做了些做本来的工作，这种说是。
And so then next, with a sense of deep disillusionment, the disciple son said, please tell us of the sufferings of the Asuras, or the suffering of the jealous gods. And in reply, Milarepa sang this song of realization.
Nama Sola, Surban de Chansan Jula Jabar Chilo, Lami Dunga Meche, de Dusan Truba Shan, Ranjan, Sam Trubangon, Churban, Surban, Benduke, Conada, Dama, Devagi, Yonta mi Lingan So, Mapaviana, Pensive Jeba, Soba Legend, Tutu, Tadum Kalamania, the Jujan Ibana, Randa Hinjadunga, Tanya, Champion Jalada, Rantung Ajar, Rantung Ajar, Lingan Wanke, Loparje, Lungan, the Delaga, Namin, Namban, Rovada. 明白面的其他个亲的做，那么就公有人说他这趟去他妈以前的去呢，才有的啥出发是说别的南上写给的，我在看到那什么扎通都给的，我在通都对吧就是用到呀我妈的，我在两年前去让说了朋友们出发进把家，在现平时就要他搞来看过的。 我他这趟就现在去那这个这结果呀，这在确实起的给吧，撒下了这手点结给的是。
So then to summarize this song, so Milarepa speaks of the suffering of the Asuras. They are disturbed by the cruelty, and whoever they see, whatever they see, it appears as an enemy. And as a result, they cannot really experience any happiness. And then due to their negative karma, they fight, even at the cost of their own lives. They keep fighting. And for them, it's extremely difficult to develop a wish to benefit others, an altruistic mind. And then the cause of being born in the jealous god or the Asura realm is kind of like a kind of a biased kind of like there is virtue, but it's a biased kind of one-sided virtue.
Oh, the thing around men am jitung ar zon zoro she hubelan go zo samu dung ar zon ro chi zon do.
And the next Shiva requests, now please tell us of the sufferings of us humans. And then Milarepa sang the song of realization. Logo. Oh yeah. And so now for the suffering of the humans. So in the human realm, Milarepa says, human beings are endowed with 6 elements, 6 constituents. And due to that, we have the power for both virtue and non-virtue. But then humans don't always know what to do and what not to do, what to practice and what to give up. And so then in the end of the song, Milarepa says, so then the rich people have the suffering of having everything, and the poor ones have the suffering of having nothing. Having everything and having nothing, both are suffering. And so therefore, if you can practice the genuine Dharma, you will meet with happiness.
Oh, the young follow nam is Mela Dungar said that you but Jisukizon but 2 those. Tangan Sonsom Jidungar ina, Solamendo room. Kandangala gave a good never give it. Jusan Jiba zone to the Zonshana, the Manoshana.
And then the disciples said, "This is indeed how humans suffer. It is just as the Jetson said. Although to speak of the sufferings of the lower realms is unbearable, it is helpful for compelling suitable ones toward the Dharma. Please tell us about such sufferings, along with the causes for being reborn in the hell realms." Then with that request, Milarepa sang the song of realization.
Lamanam Surban and Genova Siver Chilo, Shatasi, Savatan Sosu, Soma, Sanyaji to Zebani gave a Tayan Gay, or Majin the Service Agency, but she says, Savaratan, Ranzila Manziba, Trojan Jumping Trochum, Jabatan, Sanyaji to Jebani, Chula Lotama, Chien, Tarvini, Caballo, Bazi, Gonjo Ila Tanzina, Namtatune, Namtatune, Namjatune, Taraturi, Lingen Yang Jibanam, Dixam Lope, Wankin, Randi, Rani Dev, and Dobe, Pamalo Ponso Bata Goncho, Goncho, Duje, Gurada Be, Sikima, Chula, Demba, Mi, Serene, and me. There was a Bandela Duga, Mode, Hosam, Chila, Nino Chula, Chula, Dona Bona, Shores. 我他这当年吧，中国这样，他别想着下场啥样，等咱们这早就呀，我这说点呢，我这参加这说建筑个是，我他这当多少对呢？这，可他年吧，这中国这用那这，就落他没钱了，我这旅穷呢，呀，你这他这退啊，退出有的是，我真的，我做过这大这场面吧，俺拉少吧，才是去，晓得这第他俩这个来可不多是啊。
So then in this song, Milarepa sings, explains the suffering of the hell realms. And so he says that if one, for example, eats meat or one kills others and takes the life of others, one takes birth in the hot hells and so forth. And he also says that even if one experiences the hell realms, the suffering of the hell realms for some time, if at the same time one does not give up the correct view, so one does not develop a wrong view, then eventually one will become liberated from the hell realm. And he says it is just difficult to become liberated from the hell realm if one has committed some of the extremely negative deeds, these 5 deeds with immediate consequence. So then it's a little bit difficult to become liberated from hell.
我这些从别的方面的区别，这在于去东啊，托办节年都我呢，其他用呢，其他就我讲身体去通，也大去我总是做了些许变过的呢，所以是他，挺蛮老想的。
And again, the Rinpoche said, if by merely hearing of them, one has fear about these sufferings, what must it be like to actually experience them? Nevertheless, for the sake of sentient beings, please teach about the sufferings of the pretas. And in reply, Milarepa sang the song of realization.
这学别人可是这拉嘛那么强，这咯，俺种几块是我来土建中，伢把上说就那种这些周边榻榻米，一大那哇，这那的看了抽奖，看了家村住这了，那这边。 인사 이제 라 지금에 손에 소예래네 소라도 제파리다 동안 zamgen sen나 제제래 요르게 와 메히베 주마랑게 사메 보고 현나데르와 누메자양 다신 조바이 치바신 초시 미랑게 동안 도소 현지연지 치류선네 나와체 화도이다 나와제 나노진 콤조네 이다로 노초 도만데 센나 독심지 대양 레제 동와이 양니곰네 양니루젠제 곰찬다 이다 동안 드리번 남치라 로르랑반 데르고레피 홀업나 코바치라 고뮤센스다 와다 이다서 지상 다랑 잘 사만다 베샤 사만다 이나다 사누그마레스 랑 사만이 현나 카바데그레스 我真的支持那意思，做的，他支持那做的，然后都说你这钱啥的，没先别去用这个的，这可惜人个的话都弄完了，一大弄完，这这结巴起码可，这一大这都个的，是他一大这的，啥东西怎么弄活的，这啥样同样没把一大是吧？
And So then about the suffering of the pretas, of the hungry ghosts. Hungry ghosts experience the suffering of never finding any food to eat, and it is also not possible for them to give to others. And so then when they die, when one dies with an attitude of avarice, then when we move on into the bardo and the visions of birth as a hungry spirit, a hungry ghost will manifest in a bardo state. And so one will experience the suffering of not finding food and so forth. And then Shiva said, please also tell us about the sufferings of animals.
Lan me hidik pa zo chu yin ji jan thun ro je wala sangami be no bo per thun ro je wa samba mon be je wo la nam pho thun ro je de shi la thun ro nam mi le sa yi be lang tha man do de go ko la sem se jong ta me she ba ze lon bo dong ta ze ko le jum de yi ma che wa wa shi ra wa so se thun ro ma rei ba wa thi le nge ba thal tian ne wa thi ne ta thun ro je ge re se de Tunru da zai ko da tunru sai da dokchu zai la zha xia yo ma wa wo ta chi ji dang ko ran ge de si gang xia xie ge ma ra tunru da ta ru na zai da ko ran tu su da zo no ge si ko ran se
And so then Milarepa sang this song about the suffering of animals, and so mainly the animals suffer from ignorance, from stupidity, and not understanding karma, not trusting in karma, and due to ignorance, not being able to practice virtue. And so if one has such a state of mind, and then this negative karma will lead one to take birth as an animal. And there's really no worse place when it comes to ignorance and a lack of understanding than the animal realm, because animals really do not have any understanding of virtue or non-virtue, and in such a state, their life simply passes by. And then the Repas said, did the Jetsun teach the Dharma to the 6 classes of beings while seated in only one place, or did he go to teach to each ram? I went to each of the rams, taking a form in accord with the merit of each, and then taught them the Dharma that was suitable for their minds. All the people who had gathered there to listen to the Dharma, the monks, disciples, sons, and lay students, developed fear of the lower rams. With their outlook turned toward the genuine Dharma, they all made effort in the abandoning of non-virtue and the practicing of virtue.
Tene yang jitu gu namka la chong gu toma la nama tang je du ba tang gu ma nama zong na so chu zong me zuru ba de me be dian se seme re pa long so de namka la por be gang ba lam la rai ba zam ro zam de ma jung jitu ke xie ne nga xin lama la mo hu tang khor wa la xian lo sim qian la ning je che ro la tang na nyam lian la zong ju ma ji ba be mi chup ta de ma ren zo sen ne xian hu lo nam la gewan ju gewan de da ma ji ban dribu de ma ren zo sen
On another occasion, the Jetsun flew up into the sky and appeared with many different forms. Then all of them converged into one, and while invisible, he taught the Dharma with a variety of voices. While he was displaying such inconceivable miracles, Milarepa bound his prana. Although he tried to fly into the sky, he could do nothing but move about with his feet on the ground. Then the Jetsun said, "You do not have devotion toward the Guru, revulsion toward samsara, compassion for sentient beings, pure vision toward Dharma friends, and diligence in practice, like I do. Do not hope for signs of accomplishment without any effort. Furthermore, my disciple sons, without having such virtuous causes, do not hope for the result of happiness." And then he sang this song of realization.
连出见他满足呢，世界强求的马人族，让人冷漠没为错了通过的马人族，让就罗马没着为先进落碰的马人族，让路让开没错为先进落听的马人族，那就把那嘛没机会，出他我着的马人族，工作超过马去一毛强求的马人族。让现在情况马这位，穷没大吧，途径的马人族，我这情况马人，他这大吧的马人族，将通我处门下面，通我通往的马人族，什么其他没些，我们军区没办的马人族，吃饭那呢马就位，做肉出版的马人族，养定自己的个马就位，接待进步的马人族。这多什么马就问，这个过程的马人族，就这那嘛没词位，那可不点这的马人族，从你接触的马几位，多少常见的马人族，国外个些每年为切想日本的马人族，马人往头满对，让人往头满对位，他们这边的马人族，那往头满对位，自从形容的马人族，让就他妈的马跑，来给的米版的马人族，我把这边做包袱，让生干嘛米版的马人族，两套出去没些位，干点真的马人族。那样讲吧，没点不，或者吃完的马人族，老当出去没送回，就说毛浪的马人族，他们这东吧没送回，看着你办的马人族，弄来当吧没点不，他你去了马人族，我些俺当没点不，看他去的西进的马人族，我明明没办马套呗，然后就一晚马场走，当过是老小那样了，提升不多，行了。
Awesome. So then this is a song. And don't hope for enlightenment in a single life, where your karma and many conditions haven't come together. Don't hope for the Guru's care without placing your focus upon him. Don't hope to be a master of others without yourself becoming a disciple. Don't hope to be someone on whom others can rely without gaining mastery of your own mind. Don't hope to gain signs of accomplishment in cities without holding a genuine lineage. Don't hope to attain the enlightenment that you aspire to without being subdued through strong meditation and practice. Don't hope to have bias-free compassion without being free of the bonds of your own attachment. Don't hope to have the view free of extremes without being free of the bonds of clinging to things as real. Don't hope to see reality's essence without the pointing out of seeing nakedly. Don't hope to have unbroken meditation without knowing the method for dispelling stains. Don't hope for the sixfold collection to be relaxed without cutting the feathers from within. Don't hope to experience the great all-pervading essence without clear resolve in the experience of samadhi. Don't hope to have the fruition of the three kayas without cutting through all subtle hopes and fears. Don't hope to have the result of temporary happiness without regarding the nature of cause and effect. Don't hope to attain the supreme goal of Buddhahood without gathering the two accumulations to their highest point. Don't hope to please your brothers and sisters without acting in accord with the Guru's commands. Don't hope to be free of devas and ghosts without perfect mastery of self-awareness. Don't hope to overcome samsara's 3 levels without perfect mastery over appearances. Don't hope to be free of virtues and negative karma without elevating your mind beyond the ordinary state. Don't hope for your mind to be free of pure and impure if you are a practitioner who keeps to monasteries. Don't hope to elucidate for suitable ones without knowing the experiences and signs of accomplishment. Don't hope to have liberation in the bardo without being trained in the key instructions. Don't hope for your aspiration to come to fruition without keeping the trainings and vows appropriately. Don't hope for the Dakinis and Dharmapalas to be pleased without keeping your samaya pure. Do not cross over the river of conventional terms without having scripture, logic, and the key instructions. Do not speak of others outside without having the 5 higher perceptions. Do not let your mind stream go vagrant without realizing meditation that's without distraction.
写总想连接开始接触冲突查把手去切讲我我们堂话的什么的来买来来讲从来来去堂这种来来农药吧来来这样没把那边穷为热把西巴不特别用了军山节拉去呗这道理一种能过这种说是
On another occasion, whichever monk came into the Jetsun's presence, his body remained invisible to them. Some saw a light, some saw a butter lamp, some saw a rainbow, some saw water, some saw a bar of gold, some saw moving wind, and some saw nothing at all. Then Reba Shivayu said, "What is the reason for this occurrence?" Milarepa replied, "It is like this." And then he sang this song of realization.
Je lama la namla zurban de lu nam chu ma ma chin je lo hon yong je de chung shi lei bu ngan ju ma sa la wang tho be sa yang nga ye rang ji ngan ju ma chu la wang tho be chu la rang nga ye rang ji ngan ju ma me la wang tho me la nga ye rang ji ngan ju ma long la wang tho long la nga ye rang ji nam ga dong ni jong zan da na si nga thang yin mi lu sim na ma wang tho be chi ru du yang cho ba yin jun chu lu je go ban de chu mo pa ji la And
I supplicate to the Guru, Lord, grant your blessing that I may emanate many forms. Listen, my son, you attractive young Ripa, I have gained mastery over the element of earth. Thus, earth too is my very nature. I have gained mastery over the element of water. Thus, water too is my very nature. I have gained mastery over the element of fire. Thus, fire too is my very nature. I have gained mastery over the element of wind. Thus, wind too is my very nature. Because I am trained in the emptiness of space, all phenomenal existence is mixed, inseparable with me. Having mastery over appearances of mind and body, I can emanate as anything. Toward whatever form this miraculous body takes, give rise to devotion and supplicate. May you receive the blessings of all the Siddha Lords.
写总说这样你这了follow up 上提前你嘛泡沫就是确中看这的基本那么在绕的到那个主要那说咱们没下点别 follow up 那么就是今天军山区别那就是把三个让上来吧了其实那完的看了看着人都被让三了这就节气讲全都总能过的说是老乡呢
Again, one day, in front of his disciple sons and faithful male and female students, Milarepa emanated as a teacher of Dharma for each of them, and also as playmates for each of the children playing in the dirt. In short, he displayed a fathomless myriad of emanations. Then his disciple sons asked about the reason for doing this. The Jetsun responded, "I am a yogi who is aware of all the faults of my own mind. These outer appearances are transformed into whatever I wish, and I have no difficulty emanating and gathering them with my own mind." And then he sang this song of realization.
这拉嘛那么了，刚才老那面前头头了学，准备了你准备说呗，主要个那么你像我来学，我那样嘞，把它当嘛，那面前他上来学，先到话托把它上节个，我没去没，现在就把那天周几个分着话，他的那话说我可以从我也可以从作为从那啥把俺同说我没打着把那个我也可以没同。那离开东我就把上节头也没偏没就来帮些去那么就来帮些俺那一讲头把是咱们的前年的这老中看呢头把再头把没都东啊通把人弄让也做工有人些现在的马上被起码就用300起啥 tene ta zo de ji su me le gu song tu de tong na chen ham de res se le ngen ba zu ji su me la jan tong ma res tene ta ji ta ta sim tian tu dong a tong zu be ning long zhe na hong do se de nga rang su nyam ne ya bo chi go wo ta chen de ji bu zam lo dang mo se chi ma de zam lo ma stance wo ta zam do.
And so in this song, it says that whoever sees that Jetsun's body, speech, and mind will receive his blessings, and those who are of negative karma are unable to see him. And we should cultivate great compassion and a heartfelt compassion for such sentient beings suffering. And we need to engage in practice even more. We must not only think about this life, but we should think about what will happen in the next life.
thế chế giống hồ lop nằm gà chỗ ba mi ba thom na sang chế điện ba nhị mu dan gì sim chiang nam la ne kha thang ta thu ke de ba la go be ne jo wang chu Milarepa the ni nyam je na sem je sim ni thong tu chup ta tian xin bo zong ba da thu se nam je me ji we song se song ke ye ge la go ba me yu su yong su cha ba phe che ban den du ba yin ta da ju ba nu ba man yin hồ lop nam je zho ba thang ji be zun chu ke den be go de kan to na to je go ro te dar gun zu zom je zhu ju den ban zi ba thang 심지어나 편반 지바데 제파르치바고 스타트 말로샤나
And thus he sang, and all of his disciple sons were overjoyed. And so Milarepa made the Buddha's teachings shine like the sun and established beings in temporary and ultimate happiness. The Lord of Yogis, Milarepa, completely mixed meditation with post-meditation and appearances with mind. For the benefit of beings, he showed the signs of accomplishment and sang songs of realization. His heart sons, with the dharani of not forgetting, remembered these stories and wrote them down in letters, which became renowned throughout the realms of humans. Most of the stories and songs are collected here, though it would be impossible to tell them all. This is the cycle of Milarepa's disciple sons developing the light and the display of many miracles of his body. This also concludes the cycle of miscellaneous stories, thus completing the 3 cycles on how Milarepa gave the teachings of the practice lineage contained within the 8th deed of the Jetsu Milarepa's life, how he benefited beings. And so now we actually come to the appendix. So with this song, actually, we completed the very last section of Milarepa's 100,000 songs.
tene da namong te da bu ke zeba ta da zo sa zeba ta da zo sa res zo ben taran ji ding ma na ge shi za fu che wa shi nor dong ba nor cho ba ka cha ba ji ba nam ji cho be chi ba nam ji cho be chen gu yo ba ye yu be ji zu la chi san sa sha wa wa ji tu la che ku gu da chi ne po chang do ke jar be ji zu la yu da mong bon zum sa ma pa be zam ba 토파다 휴와치네 저와 망보 지바셰 요베스 신보 다켈로 동다라베키 송메키 제엔지트 창사 첨보케 지투본로 지투 우라 효 대야장티 워 게헤자 효와 양총 테네 지투라 차프 망보사 차레 나토레바나 지투케 나르게 라마마토 마토 마지 수칸라 차레 menzibe ngalogdara le manzibe kozambala ngale yonten de ka zam shebe ko domba sambo she yin ko je yang me shebe nombo she kin ye cha sibe le me ji ma phabre cha go nyamne seme khung she dong le ji la na topan de topa sibe ki donon tan cholo ke ningmon de zi zo ra she shebe ji su she ne khung ki tsing ju te ce ke zile ke donon cherang ki she won tong yin donon tan ji tian chu ji lo dang ji tian chu ji lo dang ken go nyom kan za dang ji du konde ro nyom na choji dangzi du rela gomban de kai temi nyam semene me tsai de len de serba da jesun de yong na na go phan man do nge lab jang ma lab xie jang me xie rong ji ti sen de jun sen ke lun de nyong xie zon de go de zon so sta ma lo shan
Ti ka do tin pachel di nang la yo sa ma re
nam tar se ala nam tar se man do ge chang nam tar
뒤에 차도 되니 밀러 이래래
남타진 도상 지랑이 많이 시도.
일단 남자 갈기한테 송송해 되바가 되는 송송해 되니 사동 마nak
아.
this
속 초행스도 봤어.
담보 곧 4년 로카기 들어 4년 로카 기도봐
오래래.
되니 가도 파트를 말씀하시면 되겠네요.
주방 오만다 속 초행스도 봤어. 남타진도 속 초행.
수고 중인 just namta tingate morna pomendo beta kolarwa teni chumpa diangya chik reva gyap teni mila sherap gyam teni
말만 말만 로고 뒤단 고로.
oh
조금만.
di suki gut chugi inala timia di kolarwa
오래래 어디 말 하자.
oh okay dire malon okay yeah di khatu party loin
팅고르스 마서 할로.
okay di rumbu menda di chamara okay okay so in the English translation, we actually skipping a little bit. So I don't have page numbers here because I'm using a Kindle, but it's called The Dissolution of His Form Kaya into the Dharma Dhatu. So it's a few pages later after the end of those last songs. Okay, so the final chapter of Tangyun's life of Milarepa moves away from the format of Milarepa telling his life story to his disciples, and is told in a third person narrator. The chapter begins telling of Geshe and Tsakpova. Geshe Tsakpova. Okay, who is very learned in intellectual dharma, but in no way embodies the teachings. He has great jealousy toward Milarepa and compels his lover by offering payment with a valuable piece of turquoise to give Milarepa poisoned curds to eat. Timara. Karego.
The go to the you get a maybe. I did that on Zeban Tada Zos, Zorbin Taras, cheating mass, cheating man, get his up Tawake, Tomba Norchobala, Car Chabas, Tiba Namji, Sophia Chengondo Bashe, Yobas, Tejitsu, Chela, Kugudaran Zijin, Pola Chando Kijarwa, Jitsu Yonda Mambosa, Manpeba, Zamba, Topada, Shubachi Bashe, Yos.
Moonlight, the chiller, and you did moonlight. Okay.
Suk Chuing, Chuji Tembas in Tijo Zirikada.
Did it another the Sukiko, Chuki in Tim, didn't the younger dog.
You go to the way.
Younger dog.
And the Antang at this lab to your somebody. Tene, that is similar to Duja Sama Zosares. One Duja Sama Zosa, do the cheating master, such as I showed this. What are that get up, Sarah Juris? What you don't call the Chando the cigarettes? What in other do let it be a quick out cigarettes? What in a cheese at the such as I. Mother Domo Chimbo series. What he gonna get Jitu Tokai or get his up, check up the series, Conato. What in do that cool Tambo Jitu shows out that Koya chart Sedina, Jitu saw chart lands in Zegare some race. There's something that Jitu Konala Mama chance in your Maris, the charm materials, they call this guy Maris. Tricoke, Tangi Maze pub goes something, Seme Shongstone little that, Nigo Dolin the Sirochi, Riki Jarochi the Lauris. What in the Tuke, that it says to Chinachi, Honchinachi, Tondachi, and you can't choose it to low down, Kanza Danzi to do. What in it, Conderonium, choose Danzi to do, or really gone but is. What in Mato that saying the land is a lab, not a pentos, Yamato, Jiran Shira Jam meet, Shake Meadow here at the G is low, setting Gordon on this.
oi, this one. Geshe. Oh wow. This took so, oh my god. Everything is a little different here in this text here. So okay, so there was this meeting. So before Milarepa dissolved his form to the Dharma Dhatu, before he passed into Nirvana, he had an encounter. There's a chapter that tells his encounter with Geshe Tsakpo. And so Geshe Tsakpo was a teacher who had jealousy for Milarepa. He was jealous of Milarepa, but he would not actually show that outwardly. So outwardly, he would pretend like he's having great respect for Milarepa. And so then one day there was like a gathering, a celebration, and so at that time Milarepa was there and this geshe was there. And Milarepa was already there when the geshe came, and he was already sitting down. And so then when the geshe came, the geshe had an expectation that Milarepa might prostrate to him. But then Milarepa had no intention of prostrating to him. Milarepa would only really prostrate to his own lama. And that really upset that geshe, and he felt humiliated, and he thought that he has to humiliate Milarepa. He has to bring him down. So he challenged him by asking him various questions. And the Kashes Sungananti Chugitama, the
La man that go my those. Thanking my John meets that John did it to G's notes. Didn't work another.
So the geshe then challenged Milarepa's understanding of the pramana, the logic or valid reasoning. And so Milarepa said, when it comes to words, you know that better than I do. But when it comes to the meaning, I have the meaning of these, the pramana or valid cognition, is that to give up the grasping to the 8 worldly concerns. And so by doing that, by giving up the 8 worldly concerns, I have tamed or subdued the grasping at the self of a person. And then by developing equal taste between samsara and nirvana, I have tamed the self-grasp or the grasping to phenomena. I have gained experience meditating in the mountains. I have no experience when it comes to the words and eloquent speaking. I have not trained in that, and whatever I have trained in, I have already forgotten.
Thank God, thinking me at the Lord. In the Jim Madajor Mavajalan and Tanya Chivar Chingelo, Jilames and Sana saying Michul and Churman, Machampani Gungon, Ranjan Zibajin, Lamaji or Gungon, Karabon, the Gene, Lamtrimi Gungon, Membe, Hongkong Gene, Niju Dama Gungon, Irebecha Gene, and Tame Shepa Janjan, Marine Tuba Gene, Goes on Ranchi Gungon, Redo Gomba Gene, the Chinyam to Gungon, the Genji Gene, Chiponiam Sunyan, Chero Gene, Yamaju, the Jajan, Tramta Kanzi Gene, Gami. Jenga name Gongoni, Kaji Wantangini, Nama Chukor Simtan, Michi Gomba Gineti, Machu Tupa Janjan, Suju Joba Gineti, Rare Mesa Sunzone, Michating Gineti, Julu Gomba Chijin, Desam Gomba Gineti, Sigeniam Sulana, Seke, Dono Gineti, Shonkin Dono Tombenzo Swata, Telam Dotan War Chilan Samarwa. That's a charming gom, they did a ranch hand to the yacht at GST. The Lama Jivor gom, they did a bombo chiato GST. Then the Yadam gom, they maybe come to GST. Then Neju Damat gom, they did gom but you get better to GST. Tame Shepas and
not the Yigetim to get his cloak.
Neju Damat gom, they draw gom. 이게 배차도 GC 어떤 담에 쉐바 전 that's same kinero nyamne chiji mare chuba so GC What I do GC konte dor duna that say da trade it nyams lang say drwa to GC sta the chong drwa to chirang chiro chi slabo
So I don't see this song here in the text. I don't know where it is. It's not at the end here. But so in the song, Milarepa is saying, having I practiced love and compassion, and I forgot to cling to myself. And I meditated on the guru, and I forgot all the other heroes, and I meditated on the yidam, and I forgot the ordinary 5 aggregates, and I meditated on the whispered lineage, and I forgot ordinary words, and I meditated on ordinary consciousness, the nature of mind, and I forgot the confusions of ignorance. And so in brief, I have practiced without concepts in my mind. So I forgot all conceptual words. So when it comes to giving commentary on various scriptures, that is something you should do, talking to the geshe.
tene tate zongde te ko na re siang gum chen be lo te ge yin chen ni ge ri kwa la chu ki zam yang me ching ban do Jesu kan sa sang bo yin ba chen ne cha che ba yin yong da nam cha che ba yin ses wo ta chen gom jang ne ngo ten ru yin je re ma so chen ni ba de ne chen ge cha do be cha nang ro shi me do the lao re chen ge ya bo yin sang ge cha che yin是lao re ko
And then in response to that, the geshe said that, so that's probably your experience of meditation, but now when it comes to the actual scriptures and logic, your words here, what you're saying, really makes no sense. So I thought you're great, and that's why I initially prostrated to you.
tene te yong da nam je lo la ma ti ni gu kham chen ge chi chu je xie jiang chi da bu chu pa sa ting gang ya ji su ha bu ga ji ma to de be chen kha ro do che ji wu de xiu chen no per chuan zu chu ji zhe ma ma go de yes tene da ti yong da sam ma ji da sam ma de kan ji ne de kong zu ji da sam ma de ma ga res ko te la du de sam ye da ge xie chuan da chu pa de sa ting gang so na ji su Milarepa fafugaje togu mare chilang dong satin kansong na fafugaje to ma tele chilang kharo do ya chek ji la shu hos chilang ju chu chima go ma dos o tin ru no se hu re sa
Are shu chima po ma do kare?
chu chima da chu ma do se chilang ju la chu chima ma go do se chu do se na ya chima za ma do se chu je ma do se chilang ju
Yuk song ha. Yang yuk song na de.
chilang ju la koran ge he za pe ro koran ju la chu chima ma go de sta chu chima zam se ma do se chilang ju la chu ma do la chilang ju la yang de chu ma do la
So then the Milarepa's benefactors were quite displeased about that, and they scolded the geshe, and they said to him that you will not find a practitioner like Milarepa in the entire world. How could you speak like this? You do not even have a tiny bit of you're not. It says like. You don't have a tiny bit of like dharma in you. You're just basically not a dharma practitioner.
tene te ko control ji ko control zhuo lang ne gun kan chang ben zhen ba ne ma to na ro ge di ko zang ba me la re pa ji jiang me ke be nyo chu to chu da so sa jun de ka chi ba la den be xiam de sa sim qian go go ra guan mong bo sa ban dong nga yun den de zang yo ba yun de la nor che shu dang ka cha shu yin ro chu chu na chi ru yang ma tong wang do be ta che ta bi chi go zam sa wa tene ta ko ji dang control de sa re de ma sa ma to gu ma ra ko na de ka ma ra di ji dang me la re pa nyo ba dong ni se mo le go product de na so that's ko demba sanje demba shamre mambo shundo nga yontian de zhe yu de nongba ni na nor ya ko zhe mo zhen xiong zha yin de chu chu le che sa sa tong shi ma do ta ge ta pi qi go zang do hu
And so then that really angered the geisha, but he couldn't really say anything since people were on Milarepa's side. But he was really upset, and he thought Milarepa is crazy and he's deceiving everyone around him. And he thought that he brings great shame to the Buddhist teachings, and he thought of himself as having great learning, great qualities, and being really the best person really in the whole area. And he felt so humiliated by this incident that he felt that it's either him or me who will be in this world. So I have to find a way to get rid of him.
dene Kurang tang lun de ke me ye yu ba de yu chen bo ye de de chen de so ren ba sho la ja de ji chu chen ji ta kha khu zen de to dang ji chu ke len de kan de na la min ro de ko ne ko ba sin ba tang mo sen yan the ko chen du ji ba ha ban qian rong yu mo yu se la ba tong ma jong me me wo me qian ne ta nan ke chu se se ne me za ding so che ko song ba yin no song ba de ji chu ke gong ba yin jiang ne mo ka jing ne ngang da lo to ge xi zapu Jesu kin qianba gong ne me yan ban dou ji bi lo ju yi bi ko na re ngo he yo na ding so che ko me za sa chuan ji da sa jo te ki me ji ba ding so che ko se ba ngo he mi bi da yin se是mo ta chuan ke yun de che la sen de ko ka so ma chi he zong de yu dang sa wo de ne da mo ke ge xie zapu ni ma ze po mo je la yu sti di te la ta yu sti go se xiu je na the total the that na ji chu pu ko ze la res wa ta jin ju ke tang ro dong zo sa re se sim jian chang ma ta ze le de wo le chang ma ta min ro le gu cha ta ne ro dong mo na sa ma ta mi na yang de tu su zo sa re se lu ta tang bo sa dang ti yu te ra xiu ma se po mo de den lu ji chu tang ga ta ta sa ji ma ta ji ma che ko ze res ti ze de ne mo pe xi re sa mo xie yo sa re zang mo xie yo sa xie du te ne mo ma so ke xie za pu la res我些没不大的，节嘛考的，难道是的？我希望节嘛考来个嘛的，我他节嘛考是的，我些没不大的，他经常考可看着来去考的，他那个有他对的什么？
And so then, so he came up with a plan, and he asked a girl to bring Milarepa. So he, so as a first, he offered payment with a piece of turquoise, and then he also gave her some poisoned curd to eat for Milarepa, and he said, "Go and give that turquoise to Milarepa, so it looks like an offering, and then also offer him that curd, that yogurt, that is poisoned." And so then the girl went, but Milarepa did not receive the yogurt right away. But Milarepa knew of the poison, and he knew that the activities to guide his disciples in this life were fulfilled, and he knew that now it was his time to die. And so he did not eat the curd right away, and so then the girl returned with that curd, and then the geshe said, "Well, that's a sign that he's not clairvoyant," and so. Tini kung kara sina tik mushi yo mari sakla sungudok.
Jema kiko se ja, ngo he mi da res, jisu jema kiko se la.
So the reason why he said that, I was just asking why he thought he was not clairvoyant. Also, the reason why the geshe thought he was not clairvoyant was because Milarepa said, "Bring the curd again later." So if he would be clairvoyant, he wouldn't ask for the yogurt the poisoned yogurt to be brought to him. So he thought that this was a sign that Milarepa does not have clairvoyant powers. And so then she Milarepa la song den yutin purwa.
Yutin, ta mo na res, ta mo yuti, ta mo ke 통장가 봐 그게 예치 반다 통장가 봐라 가상 마소르바 다른 마소르바 카테 나요 마고 나 제니 마소관도 나 통란 로야 만로세 와타 지투메라 모히 원래 참에 클랍도 가상 사마 다 사게 나요 마고 나베 셰도 로지면세 라브레스 와타네 코나레스 마나바 나나 모히 요바 타초바 제 배장 만통메 코 소하고 고 거바이 이게 배장 나는 모히 요 메센데라 요바 맹고시 미바 예 카테 초 콜라 세데 통통 라리닝 안에 룬데 땡 타다 고파 체자 중자 치면도베 라리닝 카 사메치 윤데 마치 예 천원 나노르군 일카 초지 코르메 지도 제치 제베 라리니 상제라 램셰세 제모 콜라바데나 암삼 와다 코셀라리스다 제당 지즈밀라레파데 뭐히 요 말이스 뭐히 원리 무슨 내로 요 말스 뭐 중국 코르단 배샤 마시스 아서 배히 나데디 뭐히 원리 무슨 내로 요 말이스 뭐히 멜링에 시키고 사촌아 손 토쇼스 등에만 나랑 들어와야 보르스 마오 바는 나랑 창사자 사상치 예 주노르 상마 초랑 왕그레스 다다르스 다 뭐케 인사레스 안다 로하치레스 뭐 유스체
And so then she returned to the geisha and said she won't go. Milarepa has some clairvoyant powers and she doesn't have no need for the turquoise any longer. And then the geisha said that Milarepa has no clairvoyant powers. He's just cheating people because the scriptures don't explain clairvoyant powers in this way. So go and offer it to him now, and when you return, then we will get married, and you will receive all of my wealth.
전에 쇼테 체데 이즈조데 러시 간세트라 쇼디레스 텐덴 손레스 지주 시엔 좀잔지 다 게모제 쇼테 지주 키테 쇼테 야랑레스 모잠바라 자푸 서바신도 오히메오 다 모게히 자 서바나 오히 요사마레 잠레스 지주 시엔에 초라 레네 집에 요스 총왕 좀레스 모카진 직사 큰가베 간데 차생우 다힌 요총라 테메예바슈 这样陈北铺模的到了那么学呗，就这几种呗，到人家嘛了通拉学呗，人家接触去呢，他就接着就通嘛了，都把了人家呢，没做办都上啊，强生去那把给说自动破把人，切怕我让车子上都去做把人呗，先看片周围的话呗，就现在了，让我们通嘛通切怕没。 만 통나 주게 네가 요트 메토 반도게 다 요트 다동 요트 다 라트 연도 고장바 조반이 초장 유튜브에 제단 다 전이 되지 대장 되지 등 차평 망보신 도데 초나레바 메지 코키이라 이로 망보 체진도 된바 책장미 단연간 조바 차고지네提前 조상 랍세 조바님 마주는 친치做了 파변 렌데데 마지 나상 조바님의 做法 친이 기타도 지뇨 지본 대파 都牛吧，都的，他那地方的，人家他把些用的，他就让的买些话，他在马路上那样子上，那买些话都俺些的，俺买些话，啊，买些，来吧，些。
이게 정말 민도 가나
啊，没多哎，哎，没多哎。
조글라디 고르랑 민도들이 로기시기도 디고라.
아, 네.
고르 칸 민도들이 나나 디고라 마시 칸 괜찮아.
아네 야 다시 매개 그 담도 베게 된바 임에 통화 나가면 또 타내긴 되나 된바 예치베 두개 원 이도 또 되네 종네 되네 모게 히잡라 대배장 자르베 코나르 서치 매된 소치 매샤 그나라 제트 카르소마 초 카로도 시바시스 되네 다 지수 모 쇼트키디 다 저데르히 간조 타라 쇼디 쇼야 푸레스 제 지수 게모서 게테 쇼야 라레스 텔랑디다 코뎀 라바 나이뎀 바사레 타이 모히다 제요사 마레 잠레스 모 데지 투키 키오야 랑서 데 코타 초랑 anga 나치라 딕라 유스라 손에 라레스 데지 모 베모차 데네 라손 마쇼 만토노 anga 나로 시지 라레스 데지 초나나 카르치지 가랑 통지지 라레스 데지 테용 마레스 nga 장소 sem게 돈바냠로게스 상하케 자동 포그레스 와탕가랑케 투소트 조아사레스 차랑 사만의 요미 체바시라미스 소마즈 체바시라 요 말스 네망에 통나 전화 유튜브 말이스 다 되네 다 전화 유튜브 총레스 데코 잠바조 그레스 어때 유튜브 치핀스 我他毛板干气质呀，这个东西，他说人嘛的，这有这点吧有嘛的是。我他人嘛这块呢就早晚的马季，这块呢就早晚马季，说给我做下去，让穷吃做半年吧，他马用那这，他这样的这块呢就早晚的马季，我他这块那个他特大个，我真的我他就送的接触，这老的。mo kita geshe zapu za tlaris ta demba ja amaris ta chano kha zom do sho zelaris geshe zapu
geshe ki khare samso
chana ta jitu kita tu la song ze mo la sarwa de sa se ti demba yo maris tiri chana kha zom do sho zelaris 就这样子，他几岁没了，推出多少的这，你那几岁没了，车头这块忙不咋的哇？我车头最家这块忙不咋的，这就现在没这但是早就要可能抢的他都说，这个给我也不装呢，这那个这就现在这让着过去啥的哇？
现在的那真的蛮多个。
这那么大的，那种我这老的那么大的镜头上，这那这小去。
够了，那也不多。
他起码在上年最大，你得说个嘛吧
？Yang kirin sa kamara. Just na tagore. Okay. Yeah. And so she then went to back and offered the curd to Milarepa. Milarepa smiled, he laughed, and then he received it. And because he took it, she actually thought, oh, the geshe might have been right. He really doesn't seem to have any clairvoyance. He doesn't know that that's poison. So then Milarepa said, so are you not ashamed of your evil? And so she felt very shocked and embarrassed and said, don't take it. Now she realized that he had clairvoyant powers, but then Milarepa said, now is my time. My time is over. I will take it. If I won't accept this offering, it would break my bodhisattva vow and it would break my Vajrayana root vows. My time is up. Actually, it makes no difference whether I eat it or not. The time has run out. But I did not receive it before. I asked you to return so that you can get that turquoise. So now it is all fulfilled. You will get your turquoise. His wishes will be fulfilled. Just be careful in the future. Don't do such things in the future. Don't engage in such misdeeds in the future. Develop regret in misdeeds. Practice virtue. Renounce ordinary life. And I will try to find a way to purify your evil karma. And so then she returned back to the geshe and she told him what happened. And so when the geshe heard about it, he still would not believe and he told her to be quiet.
真的。他接触没来的不，现接触真的接触现在，伢那他城里做别，我咱这边有别用大，那么做有机做开有机这的，我这头这米见看门呢，我咱多把那么小种的，或者那么其他当为当在做接触那也嘛去，种的也嘛去别，我兄弟或者天天那么伢嘛接触把跟点忙不去哇，对呢接触长东上，伢东西那么去那么家去，伢东人不我出。完了，是从去年那跟点去回来，我当他去年那块他看完说，我什么从，个人他当没了，去年把反正跟看，完呢穷呢，个也来穷，我什么给同那当这些part件，那块也他把家务看到看到那个真场都经常来送确实，把都没把穷买套，他人说把人家说这错了吧。这错了，这新不错吧？他穷上不伢老。Rinpo namla de nyam sambo rab chungme jisu te dar nyam la namsa tamchi lami chu nyamba yongwa ga yele chung osom den den da he de sambo da chungme jinsen ji la song shu wa ta jinsu ke nyanam se sa ja je yoro wa ta tingri se sa ja je yoro to so ta kon lo ma sama ta shos so ke yo ji re che sa shos ta lan pa chap da chi res这参马在大海里那咱们这参马在，我他俺这边没来那说是老马他说是老马参马说是，俺这边没来他说那俺通过我来我那说是， 我这种的苍马的去玩是实际上做没是真种的，这就去长东去过过年东的我出去，我这里在其中的他没可能看他看没在家中的话，那苍马家中下在他这说没场面同学的，我这里他样的，我这里在去过，我这里穷的也是，没苍马娘个我有。
And so then Milarepa made an announcement, and he asked all of his disciples, all of his students, and also anyone who didn't know him but who wanted to meet him one more time to come. So he was staying in Yanang and Dingri. So all of the disciples from Yanang and Dingri, and also those who wanted to meet him, were invited to gather in Chuvar. To come and receive a last teaching. So then Milarepa turned the wheel of Dharma, and he gave a last teaching, which was also received by gods of the god realms. So,
哦，对呢，咱接触去，这当然的，电的全部接触去，去年那么那就是萨托巴当干的年嘛，干的人都上坡马托班们都，干少来那啥话那看完都别，俺那么去这趟不看都去那么做外基本，现在年头我从这上坡用嘛，就在经营中别经营中，真的我那么就没同别。这拉是他那么前面多呗，到啥托呗，看不上忙不有，他先没给样那么样，先没那么样过的，他们操作吧，对吧？车祸节这么讲嘛，咋把过是他过呗，给他做不操吧，那么通呢，可能想让通，他通完了多那早讲比过这的，比那他把那么节，他把那让先通完一，来也通完一种是，我这就去他就当他说。참아든 통고나 다 저거 통고 저거 사톱데 들고 뭐 참면 통고 말했어. 我天对是他做我真通从他先把这通给说了。这同样了开始说这把讲都是他娘们也不去过的。这我听说去过的种多。
And so what Milarepa told his disciples then is that in order to see the deity, one must have attained a higher level of practice, a higher bhumi level. Not anyone can just see the deity. But if one sees the principal deity, one will see all the deities. And in order to see that deity, one needs to accumulate merit and purify obscurations and just practice the Dharma well. As a result, one will see the deity.
真正马瑞下来对帮扶就上马瑞今节了，那就没了这帮个概念了。那说他呢，干部他也出去的，出上咱们把他看，把他说今个天把他马拉边没说，那么就他看了，同意他们去啥嘞？同我讲，就去公节推蒙了，没打开就别。就别这哪怕家堂无节刚他这没错，这件把这恰的话怕不这件就不做了这年做工呢，刚那对吧？个就那么突见这也家不就他当看着去年个同嘛个多，了娘去我那年那边就马来今年对那个特别，即将这块没几位，给上300没给去来几那米용의 베디파 에다삼 개와체네 타바 라르삼히 멜리 삼바 라르삼바 시히 데큐지 감진 단담게 제바니 랑 칸로 랑야 칸로 메시베 현재 남나 지바 랑야니라 노바니 데 테베 동아라 메도나 현라 노바 봉마이 사당 남메 저중 지디펜 조상치 친치 메지 담자 신조르 아베 담가인 라那的前配起来安保那的小米把人那个求进那完没点，他东地块有别大，他那压花，样样去做这种那把些一万米边比把那在那个不，搞得就去，搞得不去那去呢。去年他就马几位，他那公节他们把说让什么同学去跟东天津同呢。可能这些电毛产品，同嘛因七八产品新把因些种说， 我他就是没人过，他真正我那里，他的公司啦，因把操作过些，他还同样啦。我做这他这那么给我这块一大张给我钱，他是这块一大张给我钱，他你们钱他出个这种多。
So in this song, the Milarepa repeats what he has just said before. So in order to see the deity, one must accumulate merit and practice well. In order to purify evil deeds or misdeeds, one must remember its opposite, virtue. One must engage in practice.
真的些种为他们他去年把他们去让安保让什么去个亲戚马老板的这这些没同你们切巴间那就来见他们长久就是什么去吧米托是我他的去年他的没去参嘛的让的去公怕多的是真的这些没同你们这么多花节的他妈的他这长久什么去的没把真是穷的是。
And then all the gods or the spirits and humans who listen to his Dharma teachings attained a kind of a realization. So the highest ones attained realization of the Dharmakaya. Then in the middling case, some attained the experience of bliss, clarity, and non-conceptuality. And at the very least, everyone gave rise to bodhicitta.
这技术性人在这后头超完他没参起了，我可现在马上上班参加的，他吃，干部去这玩意，他俺们跟那所样给，别春季样吃没些别，他去那么了，去一边的所嘛去把娘子弄，他在这看头，俺看头上街别现在的前两那么或者托马街玩意把搞把去些种。从是我他技术去我他俺说马上上班去，基本上马上上班去，他吃的他们那说真的，他俺跟国强都是，这嘛突击没写几嘛的，真的前两说，我出去一下来说，你们要不去是，我真的看上看了见了，听课通嘛的了，这个的是样说，我这种的是。
And then Milarepa told them it is due to past aspiration prayers that we're meeting now in this life, that we're meeting here now. I am old now, and we might not meet again. You should practice the Dharma that I taught you, and wherever I will attain enlightenment, you will be born as my foremost retinue of disciples there.
我真的真的伢那么去接触别种的那些去，恐怕特别蛮那是在这看出伢那么了中国种特蛮种，那些中国种都口差不下不然就些蛮啊东呢，那接着去提前听着吧，伢嘛那么，让人去学中国做吧，查的特别接触些，我他伢那么去老马他说他接触种这点的客人呢，在现在有人我们有上呢，对开始先看拍呢，伢那么拍多其实。伢那拍罗是工作muy老的是，我这听的是说那工作是拍罗是，大家看的那所有学拍罗是了，学的是，这就给大家去玩拍他，大家看着蛮重的是，跟这的去玩的去蛮多，弄过这的话，这的去玩的那弄过这的话，听嘛同着蛮是。
这出吧，把他妈到做咩？
我听嘛多是些蛮多蛮是当啊。
And so then the disciples of Nyanang thought, what is he saying? Does it mean that he won't live for much longer? And so then they requested him, if you go to a different place, please go to Nyanang, go to visit us one more time. And Milarepa said, I will not go any further than Chuva and Jin.
我就是现在俺们跟伢那他特别孝顺，没做这趟去把孝顺去把过把人，我前两天就马上托了送到俺他看就去把人些就是去没拍中，俺拍拍有叫他们去这西把亲戚把就是让先托嘛，他总在这样托吧，这边有些托长吧，什么他们去马上就是去那么学。就是现在前两年了，特别苦过呢，早讲各这些俺样身体上不起，那么了就一把各这些电车车边那叫让你给那看不上，他都给得起，就没马上上班的这把人，就现在马上过的种说是， واتنه عند جيسوكي تاني ما ساجا بسات زون رتولا ما ساماري مولام زي جارو تشي سلابدو جيسوكي واريس تنجي چناسو كي ngala jinda chi zai nyamna chi ya rokwa chi ri sngye ke chinasu molam jeres nga so gadi chimbori phaso sama wa nga den sei chop molam yi nenjori so ten du nge molam jazin sen molam tan go na res
And so then Milarepa made a prayer, an aspiration prayer for the benefactors. So the benefactor said, if you don't come, then make an aspiration prayer. And he said, and that is all right. You supported me in my practice. I am praying for you. I'm practicing for you. And my aspiration prayers are words of truthfulness.
tene pa malam ta jin robe gon da jon mer we lan de da so der so so je pholob na chi chin nam da la ga di che da ja chi la ga di jem che nya pong lo la ngo ge hin du je ba mo de yu yon da tam chi la chen ne zo na ma den ba sho sam ba lo kwa me che chun su sam ban ro ba ra sho yu chon de yang zha xi sho me ni chu ba mi ba sho lo le dren pe de chi jen gu sho la jo ba sho da ki xian tong zong to we nam da li la chen ba Sanzang namtar tutsi na moge hin tu je bar ko khang he da ke molam la ju jin zhuo bara qin jie lo chi yin qian nian xi ba yin lo san cha bu chu bu ba nam sa su yin la ba moge hin tu je bar ko ma wo khang za tam qian la ke de gong bara nu jin ne ko ga ba ji jin ne ge tang ko sa mi ba shu chu ja ga ba ju ba na zo na ba de mi ba yin de ju jin mo nam de ga ri ba de mi ba yin me ko nam da chen ba qian la ba de mi ba yin ba mi som ji jin to ba zam je chu ju re zam ba zam je zhuo bara xiao da ke ne da me tang ho wong qi ba tam ji de ka zong yu de de qi xiao sa tang chu da me tang ne nam ka long ju ma ka ra jia ne ti ta tong cha bara xiao ta le la so de ji de ti da ju xie da ju bo na na ba ge je mi xie zam ba lo chu xin ro ba xiao so sa zi ma la so ji yang ko ro ma mang yang yan den ba ra ma lu nga yan den ba ra xiao 我他几岁没离开，他有叫他妈的扎西亚的。我这在老马头上嘛，年年要不用啊，他就忙他们家。我这趟他几岁没来，别搞完忙不记了吧？我这搞完记对的，那前两次年年前年那改的，可是他都是穷个人是。我这确切个头就他们那做那把都没办法的是。我这旅游他说现在他下开来那他妈的几岁没来，那么他头前把他妈穿着样的，那这是有叫他妈这些的来用啊。 我这里头没那讲多。
And so then Milarepa sang words of auspiciousness to bless the place and to pray for the practice of all his students to go well. Milarepa also said that he endured many hardships for the Dharma, and as a result of his hardships, all of the practitioners who follow in his footsteps will encounter fewer obstacles and deviations. Therefore, if you can practice in his footsteps, it is an inconceivable merit. And he said that may everyone who hears of my life example, wherever they may be, become liberated. So these were his words of auspiciousness.
我真的咱这老马子说，咱就是这些中产马的，中产马的，咱才从见到的说弄把帮助的是，我就去了毛南家，就去跟住在毛南家，真的，在去年在说让说着是，南边家务子说怕的，说怕也是。
And then after Milarepa had made this aspiration, some of the disciples had some doubts, and they thought that maybe he's not going to die. So they received these teachings, the prayers were made, and then they all departed to their own places, their own areas. And then the gods, the devas, disappeared in the sky.
他呢，七八年前把七八五说，头先年前我先训练，18年前直接的都是话，哪怕看侬乐可让结果的中国这个跑往这块钱都钱，怎么这不后边去直接用到那边去，初中为就吃吧，或者老那中到初八用那初中，初现在可有人都没些吃吧那边，从可能呢，他妈做吧修边做这头。 这个我们发现，就初中的在那大呢， Dana we match by your to Yangan Dava Menam, man, man won't see good in Pemba Mazo, the Che should be called City and to Janka Zob, Jive Dahi Don by Songs. Oh, Tene, that tea set at part. Then there should is, that's that, then there should cheap at all. Jesuke, they chose on to show the Luta. Chilan to Rondo now, Chogo, not tangible chose. Or Tene, now you don't put Deji Mitashi Maris. What the Lares. That in on Dalomaka, the Chigom repasset, Semen repasset, look. Jesuchina Zuntana Sanga to the Yemache, though. Jesus had a good pemba to Zo Mares. And do just Zo, good pemba as a Zo Mares, the Shureste. Tanga Cecida, do Janiki Zo Sarve. That's it, don't graze on race.
And then Milarepa was invited to Dream, and then the people of Dream requested teachings. And Milarepa said, I will give you some Dharma teachings soon, since I will not stay for long. And then among them were his disciples, Drupon Rinchen and Milarepa and so on. And they said that Milarepa cannot actually die. And then Milarepa displayed signs of his life, physical life coming to an end.
Oh, Tene Shanga, Jisun way to the MBK, Yazon Repatan, Jisu, Yon, the La Taulomban, Jella, my Dangaso, Turma, Jitula, the Yotakuram, mentioned them, Rode, Barashi, Gidama, Dagonchi, Zambi, Jisu, and Jorguma, Ramroji, Meji, and Jumalam, the Cheva, Nanu Chinu Shayin, about Milarepa, Marilo, and Brotham San Arconda, or Magova, Janjiki, and Rawuning Choco. Yataturgona, Shashana. Chiran, they didn't namtar Jima, Rason, Jima Sakojima. Namtar, Timani, Salon, and Sandos, Majaramas on Sarson, Jima, Arzona, to the Dagger.
Temania. Yeah. All right, so then we stop here for tonight and continue next week. And so we'll try to find the English translation of this remaining part, which is not in the book I have for some reason, but I will try to find that. And then we will have about 2 more times left.
Oh, Jadante, Jisum, Namta Kashita, Seo, and Gunbom Kazi, Namta is Kazi, because I watch an answer. Mazuni Termina Samandua.
So that's probably, the reason why I couldn't find those stories is probably because there might be different books. One book that only has the 100,000 songs, and then one book that only has the life story. But in a Tibetan version, it's all in one book.
Yeah, maybe depends on dedication. Yeah, Peach Cemetery. English. 17.
Glorious, holy, venerable, precious, kind, root and lineage lamas, divine assembly of yadams and assemblies of Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Yogins, Yoginis, and Dakinis dwelling in the 10 directions, please hear my prayer. May the virtues collected in the 3 times by myself and all sentient beings in samsara and nirvana, and the innate root of virtue, not result in the 8 worldly concerns, the 4 causes of samsara, or rebirth as a Shravaka or Pratikya Buddha. May all mother sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me and mine, obstructors who harm, misleading Maras, and the hordes of demons experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and swiftly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. By the power of this vast root of virtue, may I benefit all beings through my body, speech, and mind. May the afflictions of desire, hatred, ignorance, arrogance, and jealousy not arise in my mind. May attachment to fame, reputation, wealth, honor, and concern for this life not arise for even a moment. May my mind stream be moistened by loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta, and through that may I become a spiritual master with good qualities equal to the infinity of space. May I gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra in this very life. May the torment of suffering not arise at the time of my death. May I not die with negative thoughts. May I not die confused by wrong view. May I not experience an untimely death. May I die joyfully and happily in the great luminosity of mind as such and the pervading clarity of Dharmata. May I, in any case, gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra at the time of death or in the bardo.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Night. Thank you, Drupon Love.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.